In Module 7, you named 5 biases before evaluating the ACC recording. That practice doesn't stop. Nothing about being human changes. But PCC evaluation introduces 3 additional bias traps that didn't exist at ACC level. They're all consequences of the same thing. PCC assessment is qualitative. When there's no scoring algorithm, your subjective judgment carries more weight. And subjective judgment is where bias lives. That's what this video is about. The 5 biases from Module 7 still apply at PCC. Name them before every evaluation. Model preference. Do you favor coaches who work the way you work? Cultural lens. Are you applying your cultural norms to someone from a different context? Style preference. Are you rewarding a coaching style that resembles your own? Language bias. Are you rating more favorably when the coach sounds sophisticated? Anchoring bias. Is your first impression coloring everything you hear afterward? 5 biases carried forward. Name them, then we add 3 more. At ACC, bias operates within a narrow band. One inflated rating barely moves the total. The scoring algorithm provides a buffer. At PCC, there is no algorithm to smooth your bias. Your qualitative judgment stands entirely on its own. If you judge coaching as PCC level when it's ACC level, that judgment stands alone. No math checks it. This is why calibration matters more at PCC. The stakes of each bias are structurally higher. The algorithm that protected you at ACC is gone. In numerical assessment, bias gets distributed across many scores. An inflated rating here, a generous rating there, the algorithm averages it out. The bias contains itself within a narrow band. In qualitative assessment, there's no distribution. There's one judgment. Is this coaching PCC level or not? Your subjective determination carries the full weight. The core shift. When there's no scoring algorithm, your subjective judgment carries the entire determination. That's more responsibility and more exposure to the biases that shape what you hear. Naming this doesn't make you unbiased, but it keeps you honest. The first PCC-specific bias, sophistication bias. The coach sounds polished, articulate, confident, well-paced. You rate them higher because they sound like a PCC. The problem, polished delivery, is not PCC-level partnership. The coach may be performing competence rather than serving the client. Consider a coach with elegant questions and perfect pacing. But when you track what the client is doing, the client is following the coach's frame, not exploring their own. The Polish masked a C5 inconsistency. The coach was driving. The Czech. Is the polish in service of the client? Who is driving, coach or client? Rate what the client receives, not how the coach sounds. The second PCC-specific bias, style is competence bias. The coach has a distinctive, well-developed style, silence, metaphor, space. You confuse having a strong style with demonstrating PCC markers. Here's the distinction. Style is how you coach. Markers describe what the coaching achieves. A coach can have a beautiful style and still be operating at ACC level in C7 and C8. The 3-step test. Identify what the coach does, the technique, the approach, then identify what the client gets, the insight, the shift, then evaluate the gap. Does the style produce marker-level outcomes? Style is not evidence. Outcomes are. The third PCC-specific bias, depth inflation bias. You're listening for depth, so you find it. A solid ACC level exchange gets rated as PCC because you're primed to see depth everywhere. The antidote is specific. Compare what you heard to the specific marker text. Marker 7.2 asks whether the coach explored beyond current thinking about themselves. The question is not, did this feel deep? The question is, can you point to a specific moment where the exploration actually moved beyond current thinking? Strong question plus felt deep does not equal PCC. Strong question plus evidence the client moved beyond current thinking. That's calibrated judgment. If you can't cite the specific moment, reconsider. Before you press play on any PCC evaluation recording, do this in 3 steps. First, name all 8 biases. Not in your head, out loud, or in writing. 5 from Module 7, 3 new ones at PCC. Second, identify the live ones. Which biases are most likely to activate for you with this specific coach, this specific recording? Your sophistication bias may be dormant when a coach is hesitant. It activates when they're fluent. Know your triggers. Third, record your reflection. Put your bias awareness in writing before you press play. That written identification separates calibrated evaluation from confident error. Mitigation at PCC level starts with the ACC foundation. Anchor every judgment to marker text. Cite timestamps for every observation. Name your biases before you begin. Those practices carry forward. Then add 3 PCC-specific checks. Delivery versus experience. Separate the coach's delivery from the client's experience. The coach sounds great, but what is the client actually discovering? Style versus substance. Does the technique demonstrate markers, or does it demonstrate style? Test every depth claim. If you're calling something PCC level C7, point to the specific moment where exploration went beyond current thinking. If you can't locate that moment, revisit the rating. Individual bias practices matter, but the primary safeguard at PCC level is calibration with peers. That's what the sync sessions exist for. You evaluate the same recording your peers evaluate, then you compare. Where your judgment is an outlier, that's the data. If 5 people rate C7 as ACC level and you rate it at PCC level, that's not evidence of superior perception. The practice, don't defend outlier positions immediately. Sit with them. Outliers are data about your bias, not evidence that you heard something others missed. The sync sessions are the external check that makes your individual evaluation trustworthy. 8 biases total going into the evaluation exercise. 5 from Module 7, model preference, cultural lens, style preference, language bias, anchoring bias. 3 new at PCC, sophistication bias, style as competence bias, depth inflation bias. 3-step practice before you press play. Name all 8. Identify the live ones for this specific evaluation. Record your reflection. That goes directly into the 200-word bias section of the Unit 8.4 assignment. Bias awareness is what separates calibrated evaluation from confident error. Use this protocol every time you sit down to evaluate, not just when it feels necessary, but as a standing discipline. The coaches you work with deserve that from you.